All right, what we've got here is my Traxxas TRX-4M Defender 110 chassis, and I've been doing a few upgrades to this thing to try to get to where I can exceed its expectations on rock crawling and really get out there and do some crazy stuff. I did put in the 2-speed transmission. I'm manually switching it right now. I may not keep that because I'm switching over to the Endura Rover and 2 brushless motor, and I don't think that's going to mate up with the 2-speed here. With the 2-speed, the motor's got to be on the side. So I think this will have to go back to the stock transmission when we do that, but we'll cover that when that gets here. It's not here yet. But thing comes out of the box with these shock absorbers. So this is the stock shock absorber, and it's not adjustable in terms of preload, but they do send you a few of these little clips that you can clip on there to give a little bit of preload if you wanted to kind of preload up one corner or something. And these were okay, but they weren't oil-filled shocks, a little bit bouncy. So I upgraded to these Little Guy Racing Products shocks with the little fake reservoir here. But when you get these, they are not oil-filled, but you can screw the top off, fill them up. I did that, and I put 30 weight in them right now. So I filled all 4 shocks with 30 weight, and when I first started out, these come with 2 different sets of springs on the shocks. So you can have 2 different spring rates, and this is the kind of lesser aggressive spring. It's pretty lightweight, and then the ones that I put on here are these black ones, which are the harder spring. So I started out initially with the heavier spring on the back, the lighter spring on the front. But the other day I was out doing some crawling, and every time I'm going up a big steep incline, the torque twist is really bad. So the thing is just twisting to, the right hand side of the vehicle all the time. It's kind of driving me nuts. So I've been trying to eliminate torque twist. And what I've done, among other things I've been looking at here, is I went ahead and I was working on the shocks the other day because one of the base posts had come off. But I took off the lighter springs on the front and I put the heavier ones. So right now, all 4 corners have the heavy springs. And what I appear to have done is kind of killed my articulation now. So it's back tires off the ground back here right now. So we're barely articulating because now we've got too much spring rate up here in the front. And so we seem to be now, with less articulation, a little bit more prone to tipping over to the side. I'm fine as long as I'm crawling straight up something, because I do have heavier wheels and I have some brass knuckles and so forth in here. But I'm going to go back to the lighter spring rate here and put those back on and see if we can get a little better articulation out of this thing without having to kind of force it, because it will twist, but it doesn't do it very easily. So I'll go back to that, and then we'll see if we still have our torque twist problem. If we do, most likely the next move I'll have to change the shocks to a shock that I can preload a little bit, so I could maybe preload this back corner and maybe even the front corner with the lighter spring on there, and see if I can eliminate some of that twist out of this thing. So I'm going to go ahead and pull off these front shocks and put the lighter spring back on there. It's a little bit of a pain because you have to take the tire off, and to get to the screw for the bottom end of the shock, you have to kind of turn the wheel as far as it'll go and then unplug the battery so it will stay there. And then you can take this wheel off and you can kind of get a line on that screw in there, but it's not straight. It's pretty tough reach. So it looks like that wheel's a little loose as well. But there you go. That's what we're going to do. And we're going to see if we can't get this thing where it will articulate again. All right, there we go. We got our heavier spring rate springs off of the front end. And you saw me as I was going along, I have bought the ball bearing kit, so I took out the bushings on my steering knuckles in here. It was just easier to go ahead and pull the knuckle off and get everything out of the way. I kind of rounded out this screw a little bit, or I was starting to, so I had extras. So I took this guy out, and I'm going to chuck that in the garbage so I don't reuse it. But that and these bushings are some of the original components that we're getting rid of. So I am back now to the lighter springs on these are Little Guy Racing Products springs up here. And let's just show you how this looks, and we'll do it with the motor so that we can get the same comparison. Does seem to be articulating much easier now. At least in my mind it is. So we're going to leave those there, and I will probably, while I'm all wrenching on the thing, I'm going to go through. I've got a few more of those bearings to put in. I already put bearings in when I put, let's show you this end. I put different differential covers on, and I put metal gears inside my diffs. So while I was doing that, I did put bushings or bearings on the sides of the pinion gear in there, but I did not do this bushing here, and I did not do the ones out on the ends of the axles here. So I think I'll go ahead and tear into that and do the rear end. The front end, with the exception of that one bearing right there, that bushing in the end where our shaft goes in, everything now on the front is ball bearings. And so I think I might as well put them in the back while we're wrenching on the thing and get the whole thing where it's ball bearings as much as I can get it in there anyway, and then see how we do. So I feel like that's a little less resistance to articulating now, but we may be back to the point where we're getting more torque twist out of the thing. So again, I've got the light springs in the front, heavier ones in the back, and we'll see how we do. So I'll carry on with a little bit more work on this thing, and then we'll see if we can get it out in the world somewhere. I'm taking off the back axle, but something that isn't all that clear when you first kind of are looking at this is this, to get this guy off, I was trying to figure out if this unscrewed off the axle or not. Now, one thing I will say, this is a metal axle. I thought this was a plastic axle. This is the stock axle, and it's metal. You can tell it's hooking to my magnet. So that's good. Like I mentioned, I'm putting that Endura Rover 2 motor in here soon, and I was a little worried about finding, the weakest point in the drivetrains as we started to break stuff. So we'll see. But this bearing right here is kind of just sitting on the end of the axle, and I was trying to figure out how to get it off. It turns out this just pops off the hex nut that the wheel hooks up against. Just comes off. But now be careful when you're doing that, because it's got this little pin through the axle that you need to pull out to slide that bearing off. So don't lose that guy down in the carpet, or you'll be hating life. Looks like it's this guy right here. Here's an interesting side note while we're doing this. Did you know that your fingertips are incredibly sensitive when you're rubbing across a surface, or like I just put those two bushings together. I'll show you what if I put them on the shaft here. And if you feel the difference here, I'll see if I can put it on the screen. I'll go look it up. But your fingertip is able to detect the tiniest little difference there. It's pretty amazing how sensitive they are. So anyway, you put that in there, then put your little pin back through. Slide your hex nut back on there and line it up with those kind of notches in there. Push it on till it clicks on. Golden. Got our bearing on there. All right, there we go. We got this thing stripped down about as far as it will go. One thing I'll kind of note is I try to keep track of my screws. So these 4 little tiny guys are what go on the end of the axle here. These 3 hook up all my control arms, and there's only 1 screw on the top of the differential here that covers both the control arms that hook up there. These 4 are smaller than typical. These are tiny little guys that hold your differential cover in, so be careful about those. But you can see that I currently have metal gears on my ring and pinion, and I have already put bearings on this guy. So this one already has bearings. These bushings are bushings still. So we're going to see if we can get those out. And I haven't seen an elegant way to get them out other than just kind of wiggle them, and I can feel it wiggling around in there, so it's going to come out. Maybe if we go in from this side with a longer Allen wrench, we can push them out. So there's 2 in here. So one comes out from the front and one comes out from inside the case here. Okay, there we go. So there are our bushings for the differential for the ring and pinion, or the pinion gear. And I have my bearings right here to go in their place. So let's put those in and button this all back up, and we'll have a full set of bearings in our rear differential. All right, well, there we have it. We got everything put back together, and I think you probably saw me put a little dab of grease on my ring and pinion gears in here, in the diffs. Time will tell if that was a good thing to do or a mistake, or if it made absolutely no difference whatsoever. But I've got the lower springs on the front shocks now, and the back are the heavier ones, so I can feel the difference when I'm compressing it, and this doesn't bounce back quite as much, but still not too bouncy. It drops on there pretty good. So that's where we're going to leave it for now. We'll see, like I said, if we made it any better or not, and we'll see if that grease comes back to haunt me.